Hello everybody and welcome back to the HLTCO YouTube channel. I know that if you're going to look at this in the round that you might think, oh, he's doing a third or a fourth relaunch of this, it's going to be the same thing, he's going to disappear for a few months, we'll hear from him sporadically. But the reason I'm recording this video today is because with the new season looming, I want to just give a bit of clarity to my thought process and how I see this YouTube channel moving forward across the next 12 months and hopefully for many more years to come. If you've paid even mild attention to the videos that I've posted over the last 6 months or so, you will know that I have relocated my office in terms of what I do with the podcast each day down to the bottom of my garden rather than where it was in my house. That was with the plan of producing more YouTube content on a more regular basis. That hasn't come to fruition, but it's because, if I'm going to be totally honest, I've been in a bit of a quandary as to how exactly to produce the YouTube videos. I want it to be as professional as possible. I want the research that goes into these videos to be as thorough as it possibly can be, and I want to come across as informed as I possibly can. And all of that obviously takes time. You know, you produce a video, a specific club deep dive, for example, like the ones I've done on Middlesbrough or Sheffield Wednesday, it takes quite a lot of research, you speak to a lot of people, you produce copious notes, and in terms of delivering the 3 or 4 minute sections to camera, you know, it is quite an arduous task, shall we say. But I am also acutely aware that YouTube, in its current guise, is a place where you can be a little bit more off the cuff and you can show a little bit more of your personality and be a bit more freewheeling. And I think sometimes I've tried to aim for pure perfection with these videos, making sure that I'm word perfect, making sure that everything feels as high quality as it can be in terms of the delivery. And that in itself has held me back in terms of my abilities to record frequently and come to you on a regular basis via this YouTube channel. And with the new EFL season just around the corner now, we're a matter of days away from that kicking off next Friday. You've got the Premier League season kicking off a week after that. I want to be more prolific in terms of my YouTube content. I want to come to you on this channel on a far more, well, potentially 3 times, 4 times a week even. You know, I don't want it to be a case of you waiting 3 or 4 weeks for an upload and then, you know, it being a relatively interesting topic, but for me to go dark in terms of the uploads on this channel, I want it to be a more free-flowing thing. And that might mean that the videos that I record are a little bit less polished. They are a little bit more off the top of the head. You know, I am always aware that I want to give value for money to the people who listen to my podcast and subscribe to that each and every month. If you are unaware and you just know me via this YouTube channel, I record daily podcasts about Crystal Palace that are sent directly to people's inboxes by 8:30 Monday to Friday. I do the same in terms of general football. That covers the Premier League, the Championship, League 1, League 2, Spain, Germany, Italy, France, everything that's going on, also by 8:30 Monday to Friday. That's via the Patreon method. It's £3 a month and it gets delivered straight to your inbox for that £3, but I guarantee that every single weekday. And YouTube has always been something in the back of my mind, something as a bit of an afterthought to that. Not necessarily a safety net, but something in which, you know, I haven't made my living initially. You know, it's not my bread and butter, it never has been, but I am very keen to, as I say, be more prolific in terms of production of videos. And also, alongside that, I mean, I tweeted about it a couple of days ago. For me, the platform that was formerly known as Twitter, now known as X, has been the place that I have reached the most people over the years. I've had an account on there since 2011. I've built a pretty sizable following in terms of the people that interact with my tweets each day. But I said the day before yesterday that for me, that platform in and of itself has become very, very toxic over the last couple of months. It's always been, in terms of football Twitter, a very tribal place, a place where anger wins over logic, reason and nuance. But I think in terms of the algorithm, in terms of the person that runs that particular platform, Elon Musk, in terms of just the general content that you're seeing on there from day to day, the politically charged landscape that we exist in now, it's becoming more and more of a hate-filled place with people just screaming at one another, very polarised views, people digging their heels in and making sure that, you know, if they get their point across categorically in every single interaction. And with that in mind, it sounds like a bit of a ridiculous thing to say, and maybe I'm being fanciful in assuming it, but I want this YouTube channel to be something of an escape from that. I want it to be a place where football is the primary topic, indeed the only topic, and we can talk about something which, as famously been said many times before, is the most important of the non-important things. You know, I am acutely aware that football, even though it takes up so much of my everyday life and my thought process with how much football I watch and how much I care about it, in the grand scheme of things, you look at world wars, you look at famine, you look at whatever you might want to examine in terms of the world, it means absolutely nothing. But that escapism has always been central to my love of the sport, because it is an escape, it is an option for us all to care deeply about something that is tribal, that can take your mind away from the stresses of everyday life. And I want this YouTube channel to be a reflection of that. And as I say, it might mean that the content that I produce from day to day is slightly different moving forward to the stuff that you've seen on this channel up until now. I still will be someone who is very opinionated when it comes to things going on in the game, but it may well mean, for example, that I comment on something that has happened an hour or two ago and it isn't, deeply researched. It doesn't have exact facts and figures. It is more my point of view on things. I will still try my absolute best to be as measured and reasonable as possible. I don't want it to ever become one of those YouTubers that's just screaming into the camera looking for attention. That is not the way that I do things. A fair few people over the last couple of weeks have sort of taken aim at me in terms of my Twitter content, because I will often share videos or clips that I find amusing or interesting, and people talk about it being engagement farming or whatever they might. For me, and I've said this many occasions before, I try to treat my Twitter account as though it is one giant WhatsApp group with people that can be shown something that's interesting, something that's informative, something that's amusing, something to just raise a smile or pique your interest, rather than getting into these embittered debates that so many people seem to on that particular social media platform. And I think now more than ever, it feels like a necessary time for me to shift more towards the YouTube side of stuff and not spend as much of my day scrolling through that platform, because it is becoming an increasingly miserable place to spend even an hour or two of my day. And I dare say that is something that many people watching this can, chime their opinions with. I've had plenty of people in the replies to that particular tweet I sent out yesterday saying much the same thing. So it is a relaunch, I suppose, but it's quite a soft one. It's not as though things are going to change dramatically. I will just aim to be more prolific in terms of the videos that I'm producing for you each day, and that might mean a slight shift in the tone of it, but it certainly won't mean a shift in terms of the passion and the way that I put myself across, because I try to be, as I say, as informative as I can be, whilst also maintaining that thing of me just being a guy who is very lucky to be able to talk about football for a living. So I just wanted to come on quickly at the start of this new month before the season gets underway and let you all into my thought process as the new season approaches. I don't want to just change the content and be more prolific all of a sudden and have no one realising why that has happened, and hopefully this gives a bit of clarity towards that. So hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day, and the next 9 months or so will be filled with football chat only on this YouTube channel, because everywhere else it feels like a pretty miserable place to exist. Have a lovely day, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Cheers.